So let me give you the rundown. Now, y'all love watching YouTube and people who are doing all kind of stuff, and I'm just documenting my journey. I'm just showing you what real business people are doing every day of the freaking week, what's going on, because at the end of the day, like, you can't get things done when people won't do things right. Now, so prime example, I just came from freaking title office in Austin, Texas, and guess what? The computers are completely down. Good Lord, she got a big old booty. Anyway, the computers are completely down. This is the one hub in Austin, Texas that handles everything. And guess what? They got police at the door because it was that crazy mania of people coming in like, hey, what's going on? So they had to go, sorry, ma'am, it's not working today. You have to leave. So I calmed down. I'm like, all right, let me calm down because I got to go find the next location. Now, but I want to tell you what happened before that, because I've been running since 8 a.m. this morning. I have multiple bank accounts. You'll never know all the bank accounts I have. But long story short, I went to 3 different banks today. And one bank was like, oh, we can only let you have $2,500 out of this $5,000 check. And I go, a $5,000 check? This account gets over $100,000 a month running through it. Are you kidding me? They're like, no, ma'am. That's just the rules, new rules. I said, okay. I go to the next bank. And these are all cashier's check certified funds. Only money I get is always cashier check certified funds, okay? So that means when you get a cashier check, it means this is legit certified funds. This isn't a regular check. This isn't a business check. Maybe they got it. Maybe it might bounce. This is a cashier check certified funds, okay? Now I go to the next bank, and we're moving money around, getting cut some checks. And they're like, hey, ma'am, we can only let you do about $20,000 wire. I go, what? This account has almost 6 figures running through it. Yeah, but we're gonna let you do $20,000. Now I said, lucky for y'all, I need to do $20,000 a day. I only need to do 5 and pay for a service to one of the trucks. Okay, no problem. I go to another bank. Well, about 10K a day is what we limit people to do mostly. You know, I said even business accounts that do over $1 million a year. Yeah, it's kind of tight right now. Now, I've never heard all these things, but what I know is exactly fraudulent cashier's checks, that part. Not only that, you have capital control. What is capital controls? If you guys know anything about capital controls, a lot of times when you saw Germany and you see war happening in some of these countries, you go, why aren't people leaving? Why aren't people getting out of there? They can't, because there's a thing called capital control. So you can only go to the bank and withdraw a certain amount of thousands a day. You can only go to the bank and withdraw only a certain amount of cash a day. You can only withdraw so much money, right? So imagine if you were leaving Germany with everything you had and you got 100,000, would you be okay with leaving with 5,000? Knowing you'd never come back? No. This is the same thing that's happening in a lot of countries in the South America, which, I mean, not America, but South America, Venezuela. I've had several Uber drivers now who've told me they send money to Colombia because they can't even send it to the banks in Venezuela. They can't even send it. There's no, like the Western Union is like shut down or something in their actual country. So their family members know what day the family's going to send it. They walk or drive a vehicle or do various things and get across the border to Colombia, get the money out the Western Union, and also go get their groceries and then head back to their country. Now, my mind is like, is it safe to go across the border with groceries from a whole nother country? I'm pretty sure they probably put them in boxes. They do all kind of stuff. But literally the guy was like, yeah, chicken now is $5 in Venezuela. Now, in my mind, I thought, chicken's $5 in America. What's the problem? But in their country, chicken has only been 50 cents forever. So imagine you waking up from chicken being 50 cents and now all of a sudden it's $5. That's a life-changing moment, right? So there's things called capital controls, and if you pay attention, you can Google a lot of this on your own time. You can see it's happening in certain things. Same thing in the UK. People love talking about London like it's amazing, but if you're a British citizen and you try to leave London, or you try to expatriate yourself, however you want to say it, expat yourself, they're going to take half your money. There's even a great HGTV was following this guy who was buying a house overseas, and he was so excited. He's like, I'm leaving London. I ain't never coming back. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And when he was filling out his documents, they said, oh, you're taking $300,000. Okay, pounds. I'm converting to dollars for the sake of argument, but you can go watch this HGTV channel. And the guy was like, yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to have to take on half of that. Literally, they were charging him to leave and expatriate himself from London. And when he got there, he was talking to the HGTV cameras. He was like, oh my God, they took half my money. That was the money I was going to use to live here. So, of course, HGTV did a follow-up where they came back to him like 2 months later or 3 months later. And he was living in one of the islands, but he was living in like a rental villa. He couldn't afford the original house he wanted. So he was living in like a villa. And he was like, well, my business is doing well. I'm learning how to do my business from overseas. It's doing well. And I just was this young white guy. He looked so sad because, you know, he had this pretty little brown lady over there. And he was trying to impress her by buying this house, and he couldn't buy it because they took half his money. Now, this same thing happens in other ways. How? When you try to go pull money off credit cards, or you try to do money different ways, they will start shutting down these things here, okay? Same thing, if you're an expat and you make money, technically you make money in America, they can request that money, request you pay taxes on that money. So you have a lot of people who are, oh, I live overseas 9 months out of the year. That does save them. Now, you need to go watch some of these YouTubers that travel. They do a lot of good videos breaking it down. I'm not going to break it down for you, but sometimes, prime example, we had Egyptian friends in North Carolina, but they had friends who were from Egypt, but they didn't have the same level of paperwork per se, right? The one guy we knew as a friend he had worked with the military, so he had got this particular green card from our United States government. He could stay here forever or whatever. But the guy working the gas station with his family, they went home for 3 months. 3 months at a time. 3 months at a time. And I said, why are they gone for 3 freaking months? Well, you know, to visit family. And finally, the Egyptian couple broke it down to me. If they stay in America and work for 9 months and they go home for 3 months, technically they don't have to pay a certain level of taxes on the money they've earned while they're here. And also, and I'm being careful because somebody's going to come back through the comments like, I'm a visa lawyer and I know this, that. Fine. Come back through me later. Also, if you're here on a particular green card, you cannot work. But let's say hypothetically you're part-time working. You technically didn't work. And so there's a lot of little loopholes. Whoa, thank you, Sub-Zero, for the $10 super chat. There's a lot of little loopholes going on. And so when I'm going back and forth and I'm trying to talk with you guys, this is literally in between my spare time. I'm literally going to grab lunch right now as I'm talking to you guys before I go fight at another title office because the main title office is closed. Now, why am I doing this? Because I'm so sick of these credit card internet folks, right? Now, what do I mean credit card internet folks? Credit card internet folks are people out here telling you, just get a bunch of credit cards, take the money off of it, and live your best life. Don't do that. I'm getting more and more calls of people, and I'm in a lot of groups. I'm telling y'all, I'm in these groups where there's young men who are like, I got $100,000. I got $200,000. I don't know what to do. Don't do anything. Stop what you're doing. Research, read. Don't do anything crazy and drastic. You guys people are soaking you up on some of these. I'm trying not to call them a scam, but that's basically what they are. They're out here scamming y'all to do some stupid stuff with these credit cards. Don't do it. Okay? Only, and you're going to come with me while I buy lunch here. Only take money off your credit card if you are going to buy an income producing asset. Okay? Y'all see me show Asia on here repeatedly. Asia and them in Detroit and Cleveland. These places have properties with tenants already in them for $40K. But it's not exciting. It's not sexy. It's not you doing all this internet business jargon. And that's why you don't want it. That's what it is. You don't want it because it's boring. You don't want it because it's the truth. You don't want it because it's too slow. And I noticed more and more when I come on here, you guys are like, oh, what can I do with this? Listen, it's very simple. If you have 30K, 40K, and you buy this house, it will give you $800 a month until you own it forever, right? And that's the problem. That's not sexy enough for some of y'all. Y'all are like in love with these like ridiculous and dangerous opportunities. And I get it. You know, I'm not going to lie and act like I don't understand why you guys want this. Some of you really want to quit your job like 2 weeks ago. And I feel you. Shit, if anybody want to quit, sometimes I understand why people want to quit. I really, really do. But you can't mess yourself up like that, y'all. Some of y'all are really messing yourself up, okay? You really are. And you're overcomplicating it. Because I literally said, sir, if you've got a internet business, if you take $50,000 off a card and you just have one Shopify store and you just run $100 a day ads, that would be more productive than you just taking the money and going on vacation. And some people are really like addicted to this travel thing. Like they're addicted. Like all they want to do day and night is travel. And I'm like, listen, gotta be some balance to this. There just has to be some balance to this. I feel like some people are really kind of going out of their way to get unbalanced, is my point. But what I'm seeing, okay, what does this say? I credit cards for my rehab expense to get freaking flyer points, but I pay off the card each month with cash. Okay, that's absolutely great. That's exactly what it's meant for, right? To help you do things. Folks messing up their lives with credit and no plans, $250K with no goal to make money. Yeah, and I'm getting more and more calls on this, and I'm like, listen, don't run out here and file bankruptcy. Don't do anything crazy. Keep it simple. And I know simple is boring. I know all these people you see, and let's be really honest. What you're seeing is a lot of guys who are 18 to 25 getting $100K in credit cards because they have a very thin file. All they have is a car, or a couple of loans, or their student loans haven't hit yet. So, these credit card companies are giving them a lot of credit, and now they're trying to get business credit because they're like, well, I want to be, and it's what we call, and Aaron Clarey does a great job of this. He calls it frat boy entrepreneurship or frat business or like just different things because money solves a lot of problems. But if you don't know what the problem is, how can it help you? Now, what do I mean when money solves a lot of problems? A lot of businesses could take 10K to 30K and you can get rolling and be straight. Cover your rent for 3-4 months, do whatever you got to do, invest, make your business roll with it. But a lot of these people, they get 10 to 30K and they don't know what to do with it. So then it becomes dangerous because money is just a tool. If I give you a hammer and you don't know how to use it, you might hit your own hand, right? This is the same with this money, you guys. So prime example, and the reason I put it in the title is the Robinhood app going bankrupt. Now, it's not going bankrupt. It's just technical jargon for them to like get out of some money, right? Now, what does this mean? Robinhood came into the game being like zero money trading. You don't have to pay anything. Because why? Because people didn't have money. A lot of these kids you see watching this Robinhood app, the reason Robinhood gave you that enticement to like, come on in, and they start getting all these influencers to talk about it, is because it was that zero trading. Yeah. You only got $1,000. Come take it over here to the Robinhood app and start trading, day trading. And that's why I bring on people like Terry to truly educate and give you guys real information, because 30 to like 50% of people lose money. Why are they losing money? Because they're not educated. They're not following a system. They're not really doing real day trading business. They've watched some videos and they think they know what they're doing, and then they get their money taken. Thank you, Marcus Smith, for the $4.99 super chat. Listen, I'll be in Los Angeles soon, but I don't know about Las Vegas. Yeah, student loans have not hit yet. That's right, Curtis Davis, number 5. Thank you, Franco Ocho, salute. I'm laying down on credit cards now, keeping them low. But that's the thing. You don't have to keep okay. I'm not saying don't apply for credit cards. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make sure very clearly on this video that I'm doing. I'm going in here to get this lunch, y'all. But and y'all just gonna have to go with me until they make my sandwich. Get credit cards. That is absolutely fine. 90% of y'all, the only reason your business haven't started because you need some little bit of funding. I even put together an alternative funding course to talk about all the different ways we get funding as actual business owners. But I'm saying pay attention. That's why a lot of you get stuck. A lot of people had Bank of America, and when they was doing these truck things, they were like, they wouldn't let me send $2,500 to you, Erica. That's all they'll let me send a day. Some are using Zelly Pay, and they're like, they'll only let me do $2,000 a day. Yes, because that's called capital controls. That's what that is. That is controlling your capital. And if you don't know that, now you're going to learn. You're going to see all these people that are in the trucking group. What you guys are getting is first class business knowledge. You're learning how much things are cost. You're learning about expenses. Like I showed them the tolls. I had like 47 pieces of mail where I've got 12 different trucks going all over the whole United States, racking up tolls. Why? Because, they don't know particular places to go, different things, right? And they're learning firsthand what real business looks like. That's what they're learning. This is what business looks like. It likes expenses. Money comes in, money comes out, money comes in, money comes out. And you don't make millions of dollars off $2,000. That's just this, right? And so what you have to learn is, and Denzel, this is a perfect example. I'm going to make an example. You're not at a bad reason. How would you invest 40K liquid? Denzel, that's a full consult. I don't know you. There's like 27 questions. I could ask you about yourself, what you're trying to do, what kind of business you're trying to start, how old are your kids, how old is your wife, where your wife at, how this, there's like 47 questions I could ask you when you tell me you have 40K. It could be anything. A truck could be good for you. A truck could be bad for you, depending on where you're at in life, what your schedule is. A cheap house in Detroit, if Asia could find you one, could be easy with a tenant already in it. A turnkey property could be for you. This is why I love the internet, but I'm also sad because I feel like I'm hurting you, not helping you. I'm not helping you because you're hearing a generalized thing, or you're hearing other people's plans and you're copying them instead of coming up with real answers of like, who am I? What's best for me? Okay. Some of you, a lot of you are like, I love my job, Erica. I don't want to quit my job. No one told you have to quit your job. Keep your job. Love your job. Use your money from your 9 to 5 to liquidate and put in your dreams. And because you hear all these people talking, I quit my job, I retired early. But that doesn't have to be for you. If you're a doctor and you love being a doctor, keep being a doctor. Just make sure you take 20 to 30% of your income and put it over here. Put it over here. Make sure you're putting the money to good use and getting you anywhere from 5 to 15% in returns. So I'm not trying to bash you, but when people say, hey, I got 40K, what should I do? You could do anything in this world. I literally know flippers right now that you could give them 30K and they give you 30% returns on your money because they need cash like this. They need cash coming out like this. They're just flowing. They need cash. For the people who saying they're going to medical school, all you need to be doing, if you're a college student, is filling out every single scholarship you can find from the index at that particular college you go to. I used to work in the financial aid office. Go in the office. Go ask for the index. Index of all scholarships available to all students at everything. They have to give it to you legally. It's in the back. They usually have it on a computer. They usually have it on a website. It's your job to make sure you get your college no money out your pocket. It's your job. Now, prime example, there are multiple people who, my friend Godwin, I don't think he'll ever come on this channel, but Godwin got over $1 million, $1.2 million in scholarship funds. Well, guess what they had to do? They had to give him the surplus. You always get the surplus. That's what they have to do, is give you the surplus. So he got the surplus. He invested in startups in California. And guess what? He's a millionaire. He's a millionaire. He's been a millionaire while a medical student. A millionaire, multi times over. Those startups have already cashed out. Because why? $1 million made him what? A accredited investor. Simple as that. And he was smart enough to know, I need to invest this money. I need to buy things with this money that do what? Produce income. So look, you guys, you're going to come here and I'm going to go get my chicken sandwich. And you guys don't snitch. Don't snitch to my trainer. I'm in here getting chicken sandwiches. But put your questions in here while you're at it.
So last week you said
And then got some orange juice left. I think you do. Can I get some of that orange juice? You guys can look at that over there.
right. 11:37.
You go. I know. You guys can tell him I'm cheating. So this is in Austin, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
And they will buzz you when it's ready.
All right. Thank you. I'll be right outside the door. All right, you guys. All right. So, what I was talking about? I think you guys can hear me, even though it's a little loud out here. But, yeah. Oh, so anyway, E-Trade is now also zero. A lot of these places are zero commissions now. Let's see what else you guys have in here. Do you think Lending Club is still a good source? It is. It's still a good source, but it's also a great source for funding. That's the thing. People are out here. Again, grab the alternative funding course. Grab it. The alternative funding course will answer a ton of y'all questions. But a lot of people who've been on this channel worked with it. So Bankrupt, okay, so back to the original conversation. Robinhood is technically not going bankrupt, but the reason Robinhood got so many its attention is because of the zero trading, right? But guess what happened? They needed to make that money up in margin accounts. So if you don't have enough margin accounts, like a big brokerage, you do what? Go bankrupt. So what is margins? Margin accounts is a credit. Basically, if you put $1,000 into Robinhood account, and this was the crazy part, if you put $3,000 in a Robinhood account, you could get margin. Now, a lot of people don't understand why that's important. Is because the average person could only do what? Squeeze $3,000. Now, most big name trading places will not give you a margin account unless you have 10,000 or more, or 20,000 or 30,000 in there. Well, what's most people? Most people are only going to have $1,000 to $3,000. Exactly. Minimum margin account with Robinhood is $2,000. Man, they lowered it to $2,000. Jeez, they were desperate. So, with that being said, think about it. You got a margin account that low. What does that mean? That means they were already begging for money from people who basically didn't have it, right? Because $2,000 is not a lot. Let me find my key here. Yes, that's where it is. I'm gonna put the link up in the links again. And even on that note, like I was talking with someone about t-shirt companies and different e-commerce businesses they could do. But see, this guy was like, yeah, my e-commerce business only give me like $3,000 a month. I want more than that. Well, I was like, did you run more ads? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, that's the problem. We have people who essentially want to have a business that's making $20K a month, but don't want to do what it takes to make $20K a month. If you want something to make $20K a month, let me see here. TradeStation has a margin account and you need $2K as well. Yeah, because that's the average a lot of people have. Oh, I think my sandwich is ready, you guys. You guys, put your questions in real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I'm back. Let's see. PayPal just reported my credit report after account being open. We are working on that. Let me see what else y'all have. Now, the reason why I brought up Robinhood is because why would it be bankrupt on paper? Your account is fine. But why would it be bankrupt on paper? If you're not E-Trade, Ameritrade, all these big name companies who do what? They get their money from wealthier people, offices. They have a whole team that goes around doing what? Getting 401k accounts and different things. They have a whole sales team. All right? But Robinhood was running lean. So they didn't have the same level of sales team, but they had a lot of ads. They had ads everywhere. Okay, I think I know where this is. Anyway. Yeah, I know where this is. Anyway, going north now, y'all. Erica, what makes your training from anyone else? Hold on, one second again. Nassim, restate your question. What makes your training from anyone else? What training? Terry's training? Terry's stock training's on there? Or my training? Bring it to me. Yeah, I mean, why would PayPal be reporting you? Because PayPal doesn't report your business unless you default. Margins are dangerous if stock dips. You owe money. A friend of mine moved money from his 401k, added margin, and lost it all. Is Curtis Davis. This is what I'm talking about. People are trying to, they're trying to do techniques that they saw someone on internet do. Let's just be honest. They saw someone from the internet talking about trading, which I'm not knocking people on the internet because I'm on the internet. But again, I've consistently done nothing but tell you guys the truth, right? And Robinhood's bankrupt on paper. Again, as those of you come in late, it's just bankrupt on paper because they had poor accounts. Let's be honest, they weren't making money off trades. And let's bring it all the way back. In 1970s, it cost you $49 per trade, right? Because you had to get on the phone, you had to talk to somebody. It was a costly thing. Now, 1980s, they brought it lower. 1990s, they brought it lower. Again, if you actually go back and read The Wolf of Wall Street, you actually go read a lot of these guys. Why did these boiler rooms make so much money? Is because they were making money, not just off the fees, which a lot of companies are in trouble for right now too, but they were making it also because they literally had sales teams calling people day and night, making that extra money. Robinhood doesn't have any of that. Robinhood made it a big deal that they don't have all these things, that they're just a small guy trying to offer you some free trading, which they knew they needed your emails to market stuff to you. They needed a lot of reasons why they did that. But again, thank you, Nicole Pruitt, just joined Terry's class. They had to run lean to make a profit. Small change in the economy produce a ripple effect, exactly, throughout smaller businesses. And this is part of why I do this. A part of why I keep reminding myself why I do YouTube, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't have to do this shit. I'm going to take this money and go ball out, right? But the reason I do it is because I want you to realize there's a little gap. It's not terrible, but it's a little gap between what you're seeing on the gram and what you're seeing in real life. Like, people are giving you like 60% of the truth and they're holding the other 40% back, hoping you'll buy a course or something to do it. Man, you could either not buy a course from me or not. I have an email list of maybe 10,000 people, and there's a solid 3,000 people who buy up everything, or at least have bought something. And we actually review this as a team. I've reviewed this with the 10X people. And you know why it is? Because 70% of people really aren't trying to do no big change. They really aren't. They're not trying to do no change. They're not really trying to change their life. They want to get it if it's free. You know how many times I've had actual free? I actually had a couple courses I did free for like a combo package. And I will go back and see people haven't even started the course. Or I'll see people did 49% of the course or 20% of the course. I see it all the time. So I mean, I have a list of that big of people who aren't buying anything. They're just sitting on the email list. And I get it. People say, well, Eric, I don't understand. I got money problems. I've been on YouTube 6 years. Some of those people have been on my list the whole 6 years. If you've had money problems for 6 years, you need to stop immediately what you're doing. Get the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. Go get a second job and start paying off your debt, because that's it for you. Like, there's no magic pills for you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. PayPal credit. Yeah, I mean, so be clear, we're not saying you default it. There's two different type of PayPal loans. There's a working builder loan, and there's a PayPal loan that's like almost merchant credit. It doesn't appear anywhere but except your PayPal account. It appears nowhere unless you default. Same thing with the loan builder loan. That shouldn't appear on your credit unless you miss some payments. I'm just saying, just being out there, because it's a business loan. So is the people, I'm at a stoplight too, so for y'all that are concerned about me driving. The thing about PayPal is the way these brokerages make money off the fees. So Robinhood made this big, we don't charge you no fees. And people were like, but you do, because when I try to get my money out, you charge me a bunch of fees. Right? Because a lot of people that day trade do what? Occasionally dip from the money to take the money to do what? Live, right? And so what you had is a combination of, broke people, bad margin accounts, fees, and economy, right? Like, a lot of these different companies put Bitcoin and stuff, Coinbase type stuff on there. Again, they lost money. A lot of people had gold. I mean, just all kind of stuff, right? And so what you have to understand is any dip changed their business model from being profitable to not. And the reason I do these videos is to show you, like, don't be one of these guys out here getting all these credit cards thinking, once I get these credit cards, I'm living my best life. I've literally had people go, I've been trying to fix my credit for a year. And I'm like, what the is wrong with you? I have to have my credit fixed. I'm like, for what? So I can get these credit cards. I'm like, look, first of all, no, stop. Go read the book, Richest Man in Babylon. You already have a job. You got a job, dude. You got a job. Manage your freaking money at your job and start taking 10% and putting it into investments until your credit is shiny. But what they're trying to tell you, Erica, I want credit cards so I can live bigger than my current income. That's what they're telling you. Without saying it, but that's what they're telling you. Because when you tell them, hey, won't you just go get 3 brand new open accounts and pay on them for 2 years? What? But I see other people. That's your problem. You're so busy on the internet all day watching other people go on vacations, watching other people do A, B, and C, that you are completely immersed in what other people are doing and not doing a true assessment of what you're able to do, what you're capable of doing, and how much money you need to do it. Because literally somebody was like really going hard about this thing, and I looked up and I said, what do you need? Well, I need money to go on this trip. We started working out the numbers for the trip. You could save $200 a month. And in 6 months, you'd be able to go on this trip. What's the problem? You're literally going to the islands on a cruise. But people don't run it. The thing of they're thinking of is, I have to sacrifice. I have to save money. And people say, I'm not making enough money as it is, Erica. It's not that you're not making enough money. You're living all the way up to your limit and then some. I've just seen so many people tell me they're broken. I look up and they got cars that are pretty new, 2-3-year-old new cars, but they're broke. I'm just so broke, Erica. I'm so broke. But you don't understand, Erica. If I have an old car, it's gonna cost me all this money in repairs. I mean, I've heard all the excuses people in that, like, if you can't learn to live without the credit cards or run a business without them, it's gonna be real bad. Now, in the group I'm even in, people are like, well, how do you don't have why did you have a ton of credit cards for years, Erica? I was like, after my coffee shop closed, I had a bad taste in my mouth about credit cards. And I just ran cash business. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just it. And that's what a lot of people in other countries do. What you guys don't understand is we're in America, and America is a very unique little individual. It's unique because we have this credit card system that even in some of the groups I'm in, people are immigrating to America and they're already getting their credit card straight now. Because now when you do leave your foreign country, some of them are coming from Australia, some are coming from Canada, it does transfer over a portion of your history, but not really, because your systems are different. So as long as they have their ITIN number, they can start getting credit cards. And they're excited about it because of America, the way America is set up. So I really want you guys to understand, in order to prosper, in order for you guys to make it, you're going to have to do what? Track where you are income-wise. Realize there may be capital control. So if some of you try to pull that money off your credit cards and your bank is holding it all of a sudden, that happens. The number one reason why people can't close on deals when it comes to sometimes the real estate closings is because at last minute, the guy tries to transfer the money off the credit card. And guess what? The bank goes, well, we're going to hold 10K of it, or we're going to hold 12K of it, or we're going to hold 20K of it. And this guy's sitting there stuck like Chuck. I've seen it. Yeah, trust, I've seen it. So you got to learn, whatever your business model you're trying to do, you can't just have a bunch of credit cards and that solve the answer. That's not going to solve it. You have to have an actual business plan. You actually have to be studying, applying at least 1 hour a day. Applying 1 hour a day to your craft. If you're telling me, some guy was in a group the other day and he said that he bought some Bitcoin mining thing, and he bought it for $20,000. Was it $20,000? And everybody was like, explain it to us. And he could not explain it, you guys. Everybody was like, dude, you're getting scammed. We're freaking out in the comments to him because he couldn't even explain what he just gave $20,000 in. Why did he not care? Couldn't he even explain it? One, he didn't have business knowledge. Two, he was using a credit card. And that right there, that's that thing where you're not using your own money. It's real easy to go ahead and I'm gonna drop 20K on this. When you're not using your own money, it's real easy. No, that was not Shake Shack. That was actually a bird. It's a bird biscuit place. it's real easy to sit there and go, well, I'm gonna spend this big amount of money, and I don't go back and rewind the video. I'm not gonna keep explaining it. Go back and rewind the video. So, you can't like do trickery to get ahead. You're gonna actually have to do the work, and I know people hate that. Everybody who's asking is Robinhood bankrupt, go back in the video and rewind the video. You can actually just go back. You can actually go back while it's live. Take your finger on the red line and roll the video back. You actually can do that. I do it all the time. In Bitcoin, he couldn't even explain it to us. Then we're asking him, well, what's the website? So he tries to give us the website. The website he gave us was it incorrect? And then he was like, well, I did most of it over the phone. So we were like, basically a guy sold you over the phone on this Bitcoin company for you to give him $20K off your credit card. I mean, this is what's happening. I'm in these business groups for this reason. And the only qualifier that these guys are in this business group is because they have $100,000 to $250,000 in credit cards. This is why they're in these groups. They qualified off showing they had these accounts. That's also why I'm in the group, showing I had these amount of accounts. And so I'm in here thinking I'm going to be talking with other well-to-do business people. And I realize I'm in there with several men who don't know jack nothing. They just got a bunch of credit cards and they're doing a couple different things, frat boy businesses. They're doing ticket automation where they buy, tickets off Ticketmaster and then resell them for higher money. Or they have some small Shopify stores and they run ads, which is fine. But they're not like a huge behemoth. Because when I went on a trip to Belize, one of the guys in there, his company was making $3 million a year, but he literally started getting ulcers. He started getting ulcers, and so he could not continue running the business anymore. Couldn't do it. Literally started getting ulcers. He had to sell it, and it was all tactical stuff. So when you talk to people who are like, oh, I'm doing e-com, I'm like, or well, are you doing $1 million a year? Because even if you do $1 million a year, once you talk about margins, expenses, the cost of buying all the stuff, the ads, you might be a person who's only making 20 to 30 to 50K a year, even though the company made $1 million. I've seen it. A lot of these guys trying to sell you these Shopify stores. They're like, look, my Shopify store made $1 million. But what's the net, bro? What's the net? After the VAs, after assistants, after all this stuff, what's the net? And that's when they get mad with you because you are asking them true business questions. So hold on, you guys. I'm trying to follow this map directions. Put it in the computer. But when you talk to them, that's just how I know what's going on, you guys. A lot of you ask me, how do I get all this information? I go to conferences, I go to seminars, I connect with realtors in other cities, I literally have a constant contact system. I email people. I spend a lot of time checking up on people just as a good business principle. And literally people will throw up all over you. Yeah, did you know this happened? Oh my God, this is happening in the city. Oh, it's hard for agents to make money. You're like, really? Okay. Same thing goes with deals. When Asia and other people from certain markets have really good deal flow, I go, hey, every time you got a deal, email me, send it to me. Exactly. What's the profit, man? I'm going to read them when I get to my stop. It's coming up here pretty short, but you got to ask people some real questions. And a lot of people, what's the ROI, Erica? And I laugh my butt off. Not that I'm insulting you. A lot of people call me for the investment club and ask what's the ROI. And I go, you do realize when people give you an ROI, it's over a 2-year period of a company. It's over several paid out return dividends to investors. So if it's a brand new company, we're not going to give you those same numbers. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it takes a little bit more for me to try to explain to you, how do you assess something's a good deal? It's not just asking what's the ROI, because what you're looking for is 10 or 12%. Yeah, that's not the answer. What you should be looking for is, do you understand the investment? Do you understand the business concept? Is the person communicating with you what it needs? These are all things that I know get on people's nerves, but that's the thing. When you actually get on these, when you actually go to conferences and you actually get on the phone with people who are really doing big money, again, I'm not knocking anybody's business model, but I could not even do anything with $500. I know people are like, yeah, crowdfunding, man, here's $500, here's $1,000. I really look at people and I go, do you really want to be in a business, or you want to get REI returns, right? Like monthly dividend stock returns. If so, just go sign up for monthly dividend stocks. Because when you're talking about investing in actual businesses and actual real estate, you're talking about 10,000, 20,000, minimum is 5,000. And a lot of people are so mad when I said the truck company was a minimum 5,000. They couldn't understand it. And I go, a machine that costs $50,000, $30,000 to $50,000, let's be honest, $30,000 to $50,000, and then requires service and maintenance. You can't understand why I can't take less than $5,000. Even if you buy a house, you buy a house in Detroit for $34,000, it might need $5,000 to $10,000 in repairs, even with a tenant in it. So when people say, well, I got $500, what is $500? Do you see what I'm saying? I know people think I'm being a jerk, but I just want you to get the real value of like when someone says, well, I got $500 on this. What is $500? You should be at any able time to be able to toss up $1,000. And I don't mean for investments. I mean for your personal life. If someone in their personal life does it, and honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you don't have $20,000 or $10,000 saved up, and you email me about trucking or any of these businesses, I really give you a hard time, because I go, you need to go and save some more, honey. That's all. And people get mad with me. I know they do. I know they're sick of me telling them to go save more, but any hiccup that comes in that truck, if that truck has a blown out tire and it's in the middle of nowhere, and they say, listen, to replace that tire, it's going to be $1,300, and you only got $2,000 in your account because you got to pay your rent and your car payment, well, what happens to that truck? Look like somebody's not going to get paid. Look like that truck might sit on the side of the road. You see what I'm saying? Like, people are trying to convince you that they are able to invest in things when they haven't saved any money. There's no shame in saying, hey, I'm going to sit back and work a bit and put about, 5 months in between me and an investment by putting money away. There's no shame in that. But people really you gotta let go of these notions that you're going to come with $500, and people should be happy about that. I'm too deep in business now. I'm too far in business. Like, I remember talking to somebody, and he only works with investors who have 50,000 and up. And he told me, I can't understand why you're doing this. This is a paperwork nightmare. And I said, listen, there's a lot of good people out here with 5 to 10K. They need to understand how the business works. They need to make more money. They just need to understand, And as soon as I said that, he was like, I get you, but that's a lot of headache. Why? Because big level investors don't do this. They don't have to. They only deal with people who have high incomes. It's just there's certain ways things are done, and I try so hard to explain it to people. What's that mean? Sorry, I'm looking at this thing. Okay, I see where it is. Okay. But I hope that explained that to y'all. That's all. I could work with you, Erica, if you simply simplify your onboarding process. Hey, listen, there's a reason why it's hard. I'm going to be really honest. There's a reason why it's hard. There's a reason why the onboarding process is the way it is. And at the end of the year, I'll do a big video about it. Because I'm not a Grant Cardone capital. I'm not a giant capital fund. There's a reason why it's hard. There's a reason I'm trying to make sure less people are in it than just anybody. Let's just be honest. Because a lot of people don't understand the concept. They've never done anything like this. They don't understand the concept, and they think it's a lottery. Hey, I give you $500 and I should get $100 every month, right? No, that's not how that works. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's about 7 people that have been hired to work with me right now, and I'm getting an executive assistant in 2 weeks. And so what I just want you to understand is there's so much behind the scenes you're not seeing, but I try to give y'all a good show. How about that? So But let me finish this out because I'm getting ready to go to this office here and eat my sandwich, and y'all don't want to see that. First thing they asked on Shark Tank, what's the profit? And this is the thing. Go look up Remy. This is, and you don't have to take my word for it. Let me be very clear. Don't take just my word for it. You can go research, and there are multiple people saying what I'm saying. And the funny thing is, I've actually paid to be in some of these groups to make sure what I was saying was accurate. I get in those groups and I go, exactly, I knew what I was saying was right. Personal credit. Oh, yep, the banks are going to know about this and that. And I know the whole time, I'm like, I knew. I've been telling you this, guys, for 6 years because I'm not doing flashy stuff. I'm not in Lambos. I'm not in cars. I don't got half-naked dudes oiled up behind me, rubbing my shoulders. Like, I'm just a girl in a car showing you good videos, telling you truthful information. I know that's part of what it is. I know that's part of the resistance to a lot of what I'm saying. And I'm okay with that because in the end, you know, I never lied to you. You dig? When the tide goes out, we'll see who was swimming naked, right? I'm in a lot of these groups right now watching who's swimming naked. All these people that don't know what they're doing. Literally had a guy in there like, hey, I'd give you $50,000 a day. And I go, hey, I don't even know you. First, you're not even educated on what I'm doing or what the outcome could be. So exactly. You it's good to know you have access to credit because there's an article, I think I shared it with you guys on here. What's the definition of middle class? It's access to reasonable credit. No lie, that is the actual definition. It's access to reasonable healthcare, or I think healthcare, credit, and something else. But basically what it means is like, wherever you see people get payday loans or these really ridiculous, what do you call them? Pawn shop loans, all these really dangerous loans. That is a marker of being a working class person because they don't have access to reasonable credit. Reasonable credit is like 10% under. Really is 5%, but I won't argue with people on that. Yeah, you want to help people who are serious. Don't leave us. Some of us are taking action. I'm not that I'm leaving y'all. You're just going to have to I've left a great blueprint. I've actually put together the how to create your own investment group course so you can work with your family and friends. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that just is what it is. So I just want to make sure, this is basically what I want to talk to y'all about. But just capital controls, pay attention to what that's going on in the banks. But the most control you'll have is you having a certain amount of funds and you taking those funds and investing them. And not getting overwhelmed with things outside your sphere of control. Right? So that's how I'm gonna finish this one. And thank you guys for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. Later.